Aiko, and in this video, I'm going to review this Daiso Ellefar Shine Color IC in Gold. Here. This eyeshadow palette is also included in my Daiso haul video. Therefore, I also bought this from Daiso Harajuku branch in Shibuya. I know that this palette has more than one shade, but unfortunately, at that time when I bought this is the only available shade that I found. So let's talk about the outer packaging. The outer packaging is cheap. Yes, it's cheap because it's just 100 yen. But the design is really good. It's really cute. I think this is a thing that attracts most of the buyers. So let's open this. Here. Aside. So here, this is the palette. It is made of plastic, and I really love how they made an effort on making this palette. As you can see, they made the eyeshadows inside look like gems. Okay, and this is at the back, nothing much. So let's open this. And by the way, the palette contains 6.2 grams of eyeshadows. Actually, I have already tried this for my vlogger. This is what it looks inside. So here are the colors. And there is a double-sided sponge applicator, which may not be useful to some, but for the purpose of this review, I'm going to use this applicator for application, and I will try this also to blend the eyeshadows. If not, then I will use my fingers. So let's move on to the colors. So there are 6 colors in this palette that makes this a very good deal. And when I saw the colors, I already knew that I will be able to use all the colors from the palette. So let's watch this now. Are the swatches. As you can see, they are very shimmery and not that pigmented, and they are very chalky, and they are also easy to remove, I think. See, done. So to test this product, I am going to apply eye primer on this side. And on this side, I won't put an eye primer. So I'm going to use this Proof 10 eye primer by Etude House as my eye primer. By the way, I haven't put foundation because I don't want to ruin my foundation, because we don't know if there will be a lot of fallout. So it's better be safe than sorry. Yeah. So I'm going to zoom into my eyes. So remember that here is with the primer and here is without the primer. I'm going to follow the instructions at the back. So there is an instruction here, a technical advice. So we're going to use 3 colors. So a lightest shade, the medium shade, and the darkest shade. So let's start. forgot something. So we're also going to put the first color under the eye area. Is the final look. So I'm just going to blend everything. I'm going to zoom out. So there are many fallouts, so I'm going to remove that with this brush. So here is the final look. The final look seems like it just gave my eyes a little shimmer and made it a little brighter. The colors are really not that obvious, but this is very shiny, and I think this will look much better after putting on foundation to cover all the areas that there are fallouts. So like here. So let's proceed to the test tube. I will try to use all of the colors in this palette. I have already made pictures on where I will put the eyeshadows and the colors. So I'll just move on. This is the final look. So to appreciate the eyeshadow, I'm going to put on foundation first before saying my thoughts on this eyeshadow. So this is the final look after putting on my foundation and other stuffs. So now I'm going to say my thoughts about this product. So here is with the primer and here is without the primer, and I noticed that there's not much difference between these two. It almost gave the same amount of pigment, but here I have a picture the difference without the primer and without the primer. So the eye with the primer on has more visible pigments, but just a little more pigmented than the eye without the primer. But here in this picture, as you can see, with the primer there are less fallouts, but without the primer it's really a disaster. So it's very chalky, so there will be a lot of fallout, and I really recommend not to put foundation on because it will really mess up everything. But even with the primer, there will still be fallouts. But I really love the result of the eyeshadows. It gave me a look that I can wear almost every day. Or when there are times that I just want a simple look, this will be a perfect look. For a 100 yen, this is a really good shadow palette. This is very shimmery, but this looks very good. So about the pigmentation, so it took several applications to get the pigment that I want, but I was not disappointed with that because I understand this is just a 100 yen eyeshadow. About the blendability of the product, so amazingly the eyeshadows were easy to blend, and on my experience, you can also use its own applicator to put the eyeshadow and blend the eyeshadows, and it's much better if you're going to use your fingers to blend. Yeah, and the only problem that really bothered me, as I said, is the fallout, and this is very chalky. That's the only problem, but I have no problem with that. Yeah, it's a cheap product, so I don't have to expect much. It works, so I think that's enough for me. And I forgot to tell that I'm also testing the longevity of the eyeshadow. 7 hours have passed and the eyeshadow is still good. The colors are still there with the primer and without the primer. And no creasing, which is good. So this eyeshadow palette had done really good. And yeah, you can wear it for longer hours. And yeah, that's all. And that's all for this review. And see you soon on my next videos. Please subscribe. Bye bye.